How are you all doing? Welcome back to PepoCoin, your one-stop shop for cryptocurrency. I'm Ripple Van Winkle, your host. I hope you have a fantastic day. Friday is here. Friday, for crying out loud. Fridays are my favorite day. Payday Fridays are so much fun. It's still Friday, but that will be next week. The weekend is arrived. Monday is my off day. Valentine's Day is today. I'm ready for the weekend, man. Bring on the softball and doubleheader from last night. In my own mind, it was the worst softball game I've ever played. The worst two softball games I've ever played. I believe I went 1 for 10 when it should have been 0 for 10, but I was unable to hit the ball to save my life. At home plate, I dropped the ball. I understand now, another. One happened to me at home plate when a person bumped into me. It was an absolute mess. I'm glad it's over. We went to both of them as planned, and unfortunately, I was unable to assist the team in any way. It was awful. It's one of those situations where you just lose yourself in your thoughts and are unable to come out of them. I was moving my head and dropping my arm when I was shot. I was dipping and it was awful, but now look at us. Let's go on to the following week. Yes, the countdown is on as we enter this episode, people. Officially began yesterday, and the XRP price chart is undoubtedly the major announcement for which everyone is watching this video. Where are we heading? What's happening outside? What do we want? To find, I've got you covered. After that, we'll examine the XRP ETF since a new video has surfaced indicating that it has a 70% probability of being authorized. So, without further ado, sit back and relax. Let's get started on this. Bitcoin 813 hours to be exact. It has increased by almost 1% over the last day. The idea of arriving at 2,603. People are up more than 11%, with XRP leading the way at 1%, 2,071 cents. About an hour ago, it was slightly higher, touching between USDT and USDC at 275 and 277, both of which are close to the dollar pegs. The overall market capitalization of cryptocurrencies is still at $3,200 billion, which is a very narrow range. XRP appears fantastic. I adore it. This is what we need to focus on at the moment. Bitcoin must actually take off. Bitcoin must emerge and soar to the top. What I am observing and what I dislike about it is that XRP has increased because Bitcoin is about to undergo yet another minor correction, down to the area around $90,000. Another possibility is that Bitcoin does not adjust and instead surges to the $100,000, $10,400 region when it will likely reach its highest point ever. That's what we want to happen. However, we have observed in the past that XRP will pump before everything else, particularly during this cycle that dates back to, because market makers or someone else understands that Bitcoin is going to take another drop and allows XRP to maintain its structure. By that, what do I mean? Very easy. The market makers, manipulators, or whatever term we choose to use, are aware that Bitcoin is on the verge of another plunge to the low, which is, our low. We have been witnessing the price of XRP move up so that when Bitcoin starts to pull back, XRP essentially stays in the same structure and above the same support lines. The lower $900 region, which is between 90 and 92, is like the ultimate low and pulls the rest of the market down with it. For XRP to stay above key trading levels, where the support sits, it knows that it cannot drop further, and if Bitcoin goes down, it brings the rest of the market down. As a result, it remains intact, allowing it to continue moving upward and down the line in his bull run. If you have been following this, you will find it to be really fascinating. That's what I'm looking at. The XRP chart is shown here. As you can see, we had the XRP breakdown on Sunday the 2nd, and as of right now, a small U-shape is forming. We haven't left the woods yet, have we? We must close the gap above. It is approximately 282. To be really positive, we must close above. After that, we should anticipate a larger rise higher into that mid. We must get the close over the $3 range. Currently, however, the 4 out of 1 day to 1 month all appear to be extremely optimistic on XRP. If Bitcoin decides to correct, I would definitely have it between the bottom of this candle. Your lower goal to the downside is about 230. The corrections range would be between 230 and 250, which is still acceptable because the XRP would still be in structure at that point. As a result, we would be prepared for the next move, which would put us back in the $3 zone, eventually pulling us out of that and into that $4 to $5 zone after retesting the all-time high. From the conclusion of Q1 to the start of Q2, having stated that, how does the chart for Bitcoin appear? It doesn't look very well, actually, as we sort of anticipated, which relates to what we just discussed, doesn't it? Since Bitcoin is about to take another minor decline, XRP is surging in order to maintain structure. They will stay positive on Bitcoin even if they are 4 hours bearish for 1 day in a month. We might refer to this green line, which is Bitcoin, as a green wave. The mouse is visible. To stay bullish, it must remain above that. Which targets are those? It's currently between 90 and 91,000. Those are the figures we discuss. With a critical breakdown structure of 93, it is presently at 96. Therefore, Bitcoin may return to the precise range we just specified, which is 90 to 93. It will simply seize liquidity there before making its upward move, but it would still be optimistic. First thing to watch for when this breakout is finished is when we surpass 105. We will push past the record high and reach the entire range of $115,000 to $120,000 after 105 is broken. That's exactly what we've been preaching and discussing on this channel for the last, I'm not sure, 2 months or so. All of this is dependent on Bitcoin, what it is going to do, and where it will travel. Supporters of blockchain say, look, we probably have more chop here, but XRP is on track. This is his chart. Coinbase shows the daily exchange rate between XRP and the US dollar on your left, whereas Bitstep shows the exchange rate on your right every 4 hours. He now thinks we have a bit more chop here. As you can see, this small red area is, in my opinion, the ultimate pullback zone where XRP may hit. Will we make it there? Well, Bitcoin is the key to everything. Reputable cryptocurrency stated the same thing. Last night he tweeted something. Initially, he expressed his belief that XRP might run and first dip into these lows before making a run upward. The X-shaped mark is seen between 220 and 226. He believed that we might have sucked up liquidity there before, soaring to this local high zone, which would place you in the range of 270 to 320. It appears like we're going to aim for the range high first after the move overnight, he says. Additionally, if Bitcoin can break above 1,000,000, things will shift somewhat. However, if it fails to do so, you can be sure that it will eventually gather more liquidity in the lower $90,000 range before pushing back upward. After, then, there is a 70% likelihood that the XRP ETF will be approved. Pay attention. As you are aware, this morning I read an analyst's perspective. They claim that despite the fact that the administration in the US is changing, XRP is the ETF with the lowest chance of being approved due to previous lawsuits. In your opinion, which of the ETFs I listed at the beginning of the show is the most likely and which is the least? You see, I respect my colleague James Seyfert at Bloomberg, who is an expert in this field. Therefore, I will follow his predictions as he is considerably more knowledgeable than I am. He also projects that the Litecoin ETF will be approved 90% of the time, followed by Doge and XRP 70% of the time, Since he might have a stake in the outcome, I would simply cite him on that. I have no stake in that outcome. Thus, such figures are favorable. In fact, I find it to be surprisingly positive at 90%. However, as you point out, this administration has been so supportive of cryptocurrencies that it may not be enough. And so,